What's up guys, my name is Pablo. I'm a barber out of New Jersey and today I will be teaching you guys how to do a mid fade. Alright guys, so the first thing you guys want to do is you guys grab your comb and you start combing your client's hair down. Make sure everything's nice and neat before you start the haircut. Alright guys, so the first step for this haircut is to start making the base. In this case, I grab my number 2, I go from the bottom and I work my way up to the top. I make sure I don't go too high up because in this case my client wants a comb over. But, just go from the bottom, make sure everything's nice and neat. That's the key for this haircut, guys, the neatness. And just make sure your client's nice and clean, guys. And you're ready for the next step, which is making the first guideline. So you don't want to go too far up, just like about an inch above the ear, and just work your way around. And one tip is you start from one side and you work your way to the back, and once you're in the middle, you turn them around and you do the same thing, just to make sure that one side is not higher than the other. There you go. So just one tip for this first initial guideline, guys, is when you go up, don't just go straight up. Do like a scooping motion so that when you make your second guideline, it's not that hard to erase. Once you go all around the head, you just grab your electric shaver and you just go over from what you just cut. And this is just to make the cut extra tight. Alright guys, so to make the second guideline, I use the no guard but with the lever open, and I go about half an inch above the initial guideline and I start working from one side and work my way to the back of the head and then turn them around and do the same thing again, so the fade is not higher on one side. And to erase that line, you just close the lever and you go about like a quarter of the way in from the bottom line, and as the more you go up, just open it a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and eventually the line will just disappear. And you just do that all around the head. One thing is, just don't go too high up, because if not, you create another line and you have to do the same process over and over and over again. Alright, then you grab your number 1 and same thing, you go about an inch over the second guideline that we just erased, and you go all around the head. You go to the other side and then you meet in the back. And to erase that line, you get your half guard, and same process. With the lever closed, you start at the bottom and you work your way up. And the higher you go, you open up the lever a little bit more, and that line will be erased. And you just do that all around the head. And it's not always going to be completely erased, guys, so you got to go back with the no guard but with the lever open, and you just erase those dark spots. So after that line is erased, you put your number 1 guard back on, this time with the lever open, and you just go half an inch higher, half an inch to an inch higher. And you start on one side, go to the back, and then you go to the other side and work your way to the back and just meet in the middle. And guess what's next, guys? Yes, you go back to the lever closed and you try to take out that line by doing that scooping motion. And the higher you go, just open up that lever just a little bit more. Just don't go too high up. Alright guys, so in this case, my client does want to comb over with this fade. So I just wet the hair and then comb it, make sure everything's nice and neat. Again, that's key. All right. So I just grab the comb and I ask him first, how much does he want to cut off? It's always important to ask, because if not, you cut a little bit too short and that just messes up the haircut for him. It might look good, but for him it's a little bit too short or it's still too long. Alright guys, and I will be making a more detailed video on how I cut with shears. I'm no professional, I actually learned off of YouTube. So my way may not be the proper way or the correct way, but if it works for me, it should work for you. So the next step is to blend the top to the bottom of the hair. So in this case, I grab a bigger guard, more like a number 4, and I just start going straight up, and slowly but surely that line will get lighter and lighter and lighter. And so after the 4, I grab the number 3, and after the number 3, I grab the number 2 guard, and and after the number 2, I grab my comb and my shears, and I do shears over comb. Alright, so for the beard, you start off again with the lever closed, and you see where we made that line from the beard to the top of the head. We just go down a little bit, over an inch, and then the next step is to open up the lever. I don't know if you can see, my camera had to focus a little bit, but you go a little bit more down, another half an inch, and it's not that hard to blend it. It already looks kind of blended, but if you do see a line, just close the lever halfway and just erase that line. So after that, you put the 1 guard. I'm sorry if you can't see it, but yeah, you go another half an inch down. By the way, the guard is the lever's open. Okay, so once that's done, you close the lever, and then you just delete that line. And it does look better, guys. It just needs to be shaped up. It looks so much cleaner when you shape it up with the razor. But yeah, you do the same thing on the other side. And then the next step is obviously to shape it up. You grab your trimmers and, just stretch the skin a little bit. Make sure the ear's not in the way. And just make it nice and clean. You brush the hair. You take those excess hairs out. Just like that. And of course you do that on the other side. Don't go too in, because if not, it's not going to look natural and it's going to grow back nasty. Alright. Alright guys, so we worked our way to the last part of the haircut, the shape of the lineup. So in this case, I make that first guideline by the corner, and I go to the bottom and I connect it to the line that I made initially. This prevents a lot of mess ups, because if you don't do this and you try to do a freehand, you could just make one side higher than the other, or one side more thicker than the other. But yeah, so for the hairline, you want to brush all the little baby hairs down and cut them with the 1.5 or so. I think that's what I have on. Let's see. Yep, yeah, the 1.5. And I just cut those little baby hairs out before I start using the trimmer to make the shape up. So to start off the shape up, you want to start in the middle of the head and you work your way to the sides, and just don't push the hairline back. And then you start making the box, and then you do the same thing on the other side. Alright guys, so before you guys apply the razor, you guys have to put some shaving gel on your client. Right now I'm using Easy Blade's product. It works really, really well for me, and this is the one I'm going to stick to for a while. But so when you start with your razor, don't go at a 90-degree angle perpendicular to the skin. You want to put it at a 30 to 45-degree angle so you don't cut your client. And so you just go over the line that you made with your trimmer and just go all around the shape up, from the beard to the sideburn to the shape up in the front. And one thing you guys want to do when you're using your razor, if you guys are new at this, always stretch the skin, because if not, you guys are going to cut your client left and right. And just to finish off the haircut, guys, just do some finishing touches and you apply the aftershave, and there you guys go. This is the finished product, mid fade with a comb over on top. Hope you guys enjoy.